Yeah, these are the names. Yeah. These are the names who entered the land, Jacob's sons with their families at hand. Reuben, Simeon, Levi too, Judah and the others coming through. It's a prize of Zebulun standing near, Benjamin's line also here. Dan and Naphtali came, Gad and Asher named the same. 70 souls from Jacob's seed, Joseph already in Egypt's reach. Time moved on and generations passed, Joseph and his brothers gone at last. But his was people multiplied, growing stronger on every side. The land filled up with their increase, numbers rising without cease. Then a Pharaoh took the throne who never knew what Joseph done. He looked at Israel's growing line and fear began inside his mind. These people multiply too fast, soon they may surpass us. If war breaks out they might unite, turn against us in the fight, then they'll leave this land behind. And Egypt's power falls in time. Yeah, so taskmasters were placed above to crush their spirits through hard labor. Cities built for Pharaoh's store, Pithom and Ramses rose. But the more they pressed them down, the more their numbers spread around. Fear increased throughout the land, Egypt shook beneath their hands. So Egypt turned the pressure higher, making slavery grow harsher. Brick and mortar, endless strain, bitter labor filled their days. Still the people multiplied, strengthened through the suffering tide. The Pharaoh called the midwives near, Shiphrah and Puah, standing there. When Hebrew women give birth now, watch the child before it cries. If a son is born that day, take his life away. But if the child's a daughter born, let her live and carry on. Yet the midwives feared their God more than Pharaoh's ruling rod. So the boys were kept alive, defying Pharaoh's dark Pharaoh asked them, why do this? Why let the boys continue to live? They answered back with wisdom, their Hebrew women are strong and prepared. Before we reach them where they stay, the child is born and on the way. God bless the midwives for their stand. The families grew across the land because they feared the Lord above. Life continued through their love, and Pharaoh gave a darker word. Throughout the nation it was heard, every Hebrew son you find, throw into the river Tyne. But every daughter may remain, and terror spread through Egypt's reign. A man from Levi took a wife, and soon they brought forth newborn life. She saw the child was strong and bright, so she hid him through the night. For 3 long months she kept him near, protecting him through growing fear. But when she could no longer hide, she built a basket sealed inside, placed the child upon the stream, among the reeds beside the river's gleam. His sister watched from far away, waiting to see what fate would say. Pharaoh's daughter came that hour, walking near the river flowers. She saw the basket in the reeds, sent a servant there to see. When she opened it, the child cried, compassion stirred deep inside. This is one of the Hebrew sons, yet mercy moved her heart at once. Then the sister stepped in near. Shall I find a nurse from here? Pharaoh's daughter gave consent, so the child's own mother went. She raised him till he stronger grew. Then Pharaoh's daughter took him through. She named him Moses from that day. Drawn from water marked his way. Years passed on and Moses grew, saw the suffering Hebrews move through. One day he witnessed Egypt's hand beating a Hebrew in the sand. Moses looked from side to side, then struck the Egyptian till he died. He hid the body in the ground, thinking no one else around. The next day 2 Hebrews fought. Moses stepped to stop the conflict, but the guilty answered back, who made you ruler over that? Will you kill me like before, like the Egyptian on the shore? Fear struck Moses at the core, the secret's hidden no more. Pharaoh heard what Moses did and sought his life because of it. So Moses fled through desert lands, escaping Pharaoh's deadly hand. He came to Midian and stayed beside a well at close of day. The priest of Midian had daughters there who came to water flocks with care, but shepherds drove the women back until Moses stepped to act. He defended them that day and watered all their sheep himself. return before their daddy wondered why they come back fast. They answered, an Egyptian man protected us with helping hands. Their father said, then bring him here. Why leave the man outside alone? Moses stayed and made his home, living there no longer alone. He married Zipporah in time and built a different kind of life. A son was born and Moses said, I've been a stranger where I've lived back in Egypt. Years rolled by and still the Hebrews groaned and cried. The suffering rose before the sky and God heard every painful cry. He remembered covenant words given long ago to fathers first. God saw Israel's suffering deep and turned his eyes toward his people's need. Yeah. Moses tended Jethro's sheep, far from Egypt's memory, deep within the wilderness, near the mountain Horeb's crest. Then suddenly before his eyes, a bush was burning bright with fire. Yet though the flames surrounded all, the bush itself refused to fall. Moses stopped and turned aside. What is this unusual sight? As he moved to look more near, God called out for him to hear. Moses, Moses, through the flame. And Moses answered to the name. Here I am with trembling breath, standing near the fire's depth. Do not come too close this way. Remove your sandals where you stay. This ground beneath your feet right now is holy ground before me now. I am the God your fathers knew. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Moses hid his face in fear, afraid to look while God was near. I have seen my people's pain, heard their cries beneath the chains. I know the suffering they endure, and now my rescue will move forward. I will bring them from this land to a place flowing rich and grand. Milk and honey overflow beyond the lands their enemies holding. God spoke directly clear. I am sending you from here. You will stand before Pharaoh's throne and lead my people safely home. Moses answered full of doubt, who am I to bring them out? God replied, I'll be with you, and this will prove my calling true. When you bring the people free, you all will worship here with me. Moses said, when they ask your name, what am I supposed to say? God replied, through fire and flame, I am is my eternal name. Tell them I am has sent you near, the God your fathers worshipped here. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob's Lord, forever known through every generation forward. Gather Israel's elders fast, tell them I have come at last. I have seen their suffering there, and now I move because I care. You will go before the king, but Pharaoh won't release a thing, not unless my mighty hand moves with power through the land. I will strike Egypt with wonder shown until he lets my people go. And when you leave this place behind, you won't depart with empty hands. Silver, gold, and garments too, Egypt's wealth will pass to you. Moses stood before the flame, hearing God declare his name. Yeah. Oh. Moses answered back in fear. What if they won't believe I'm here? What if they say you never came and doubt the message in your name? God replied, what's in your hand? A shepherd's staff was his answer then. Throw it down upon the ground, the staff became a serpent now. Moses jumped away in fright, but God said, grab it by the tail tight. He reached and took it once again, and it became a staff in hand. This sign will help the people see the God of fathers sent you here to lead. Then God said, place your hand inside the cloak that hangs there by your side. Moses pulled it out once more, leprous white from skin to core. God said, place it back again, and healthy flesh returned. And if they still refuse the signs, take river water in your hands, pour it out upon the ground, and blood instead will pour around. Still Moses struggled deep with doubt. I'm not good with speaking now, my words come slow, my tongue feels weak. I'm not the man you wanna speak. God answered strong, who form man's mouth, who gives speech or turns it out, who makes ear and sight or none? Is it not I, the Holy One? Now go, I'll help you speak and teach the words you need. But Moses pleaded one more time, please send someone else instead. Then God's anger stirred a flame, yet mercy still within remained. Your brother Aaron's on the way, Moses returned to Jethro's side, asked permission for the ride. He gathered Zipporah and sons and journeyed back where he came from. God said, return now without fear, though seeking your life no longer near. Along the road a moment came, heavy, strange, and hard to name. God confronted Moses there because the covenant wasn't shared. Zipporah acted quickly, then circumcising their young son. The danger passed, the tension broken. Onward Moses continued on. Meanwhile Aaron bet him there at God's mountain in the desert air. Moses shared all God had said, every sign and word ahead. Together then they traveled through, back where Israel suffered too. They gathered elders one by one, and Aaron spoke what God had done. Moses showed the signs before the watching people on the floor. The people believed and bowed low. Hearing God had seen their sorrow, hope began to rise again. That freedom soon might finally begin. Yeah. Moses and Aaron faced the throne, standing before Pharaoh alone. Moses and Aaron faced the throne, standing before Pharaoh alone. They spoke the message God declared, let his people go from here. Israel must leave this land to worship God by his command. Pharaoh answered cold with pride, who is this God you speak beside? I do not know the Lord you name, and Israel will not leave this place. Moses pleaded once again, the God of Hebrews spoke to us, then let us journey through the wild. A judgment may upon us rise, but Pharaoh's anger only grew. He saw their words as excuse. These people multiply too much, now they seek to stop their work. So Pharaoh gave command that day, making slavery harsher still. No more straw will now be given, yet bricks required to stay the same. Let them gather what they need, but never lessen the demand. They are lazy, that is why they cry for freedom. All this time increase the labor on their backs, so they stop believing lies. Taskmasters spread throughout the land, driving hard with cruel command. The Hebrews searched through fields for straw, trying still to meet the law, but the quota stayed unchanged, and punishment fell day by day. Hebrew foremen beaten down, questioned why the work fell short. They cried before Pharaoh's seat, why treat your servants this way? No straw is given to your slaves, yet still the same amount is claimed. Pharaoh answered without care, you are lazy standing there, that is why you asked to leave. Now return and make the bricks. The foreman knew disaster came, no relief from Pharaoh's reign. As they left they crossed paths there with Moses and with Aaron near. They cried, may God judge what you've done. You've made Pharaoh hate us more. You placed a sword within his hand, given reason to destroy us. Moses turned and cried to God, why bring suffering this hard? Why send me here if things just break? Your people still remain in chains. Ever since I spoke your name, Pharaoh only increased their pain. You have not delivered them at all, though you said you heard their call. Yeah. God answered Moses through the strain. Now you'll see what I will change. By your mighty hand alone, Pharaoh will release my own. He will drive them from this land, unable to withstand my hand. Then God spoke his name once more, the covenant from days before. I am the Lord who still remains, the God your fathers once proclaimed. Abraham and Isaac knew my promises were always true. Jacob walked beneath my hand, though they did not fully understand. I have heard my people's cry, seen the tears beneath their lives. The chains of Egypt weigh them down, but I will break oppression's crown. Tell Israel these words from me, I will bring you out and free. I will lift the burdens, weight, and rescue you from slavery's chains. With mighty acts and judgment strong, I'll show Egypt they were wrong. I will take you as my own, and you will know me as your God alone. I will lead you to the land promised long ago by my hand. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob too. That that inheritance belongs to you. Moses carried every word, but Israel barely heard. The spirits crushed by endless pain, hope felt buried under chains. Then God told Moses once again, go speak before Pharaoh now. Tell him let my people leave and release the Hebrews free. Moses answered full of doubt, how can Pharaoh hear me out? Israel itself ignored my plea, and my speech still weakens me. Still the Lord gave firm command, sending Moses back again. Moses and Aaron stood as one, chosen for what must be done. Their father's houses now were named, the roots from which the brothers came. Reuben first and Simeon too, then Levi's line continued through. Generations followed on, leading down to Aaron. Amram took Jochebed his bride, and Moses came through their line. Aaron's sons were also named, future priests who'd serve God's flame. These were the men God called to stand, to lead Israel from Egypt's hand. Again God spoke before the throne, I am the Lord and Lord alone. So Pharaoh, every word I say, do not turn aside, away. Still Moses wrestled fear inside. My speech feels weak before his eyes. Yeah. God spoke again before the fight. Pharaoh will resist my might, but I will multiply my signs and judge Egypt through my power. I've made you like a god to him, and Aaron speaks the words within. You will declare all I command, that Israel must leave the land. Yet Pharaoh's heart will harden still, until my wonder shake his will. Then Egypt finally will know I am the Lord above them all. Moses and Aaron moved ahead, doing everything God said. Moses 80 years by then, Aaron older still than him. They stood before the throne once more as God had warned the days before. Pharaoh demanded proof displayed, show a sign if what you say is real. Aaron threw the staff down there, and it became a serpent there. Pharaoh called his wise men near, magicians practiced art severe. They threw their staffs upon the floor, and serpents formed before the court. But Aaron's staff consumed them whole, a sign of greater power shown. Still Pharaoh's heart refused to bend, exactly as God said ahead. Then God told Moses what to do, meet Pharaoh where the river moves. Stand beside the Nile at dawn, carry now the staff along. Tell him I have sent you here to let my people disappear. But since he still refuses me, Moses and Aaron raised a rod, striking waters by God's command. The river turned to blood that day, fish all died and drifted away. The Nile stank throughout the land, no clean water could be found. Ponds and streams and vessels too, every source was bleeding through. But Pharaoh's magicians copied signs and hardened Pharaoh's stubborn mind. He turned away unmoved again, ignoring all the suffering then. Egypt dug beside the stream, searching water fit to drink. 7 days passed through the land, after blood consumed the Nile span. Yeah. God told Moses, go again, stand before Pharaoh and tell him, let my people leave this land, so they may worship by my command. If you refuse to let them go, frogs will rise and overflow. They'll fill your palace, bed and room, your ovens, bowls and servants too. The river will swarm with jumping life, covering Egypt day and night. Aaron stretched his hand out wide, and frogs came up from every side. They filled the houses, courts and ground. Everywhere that bodies found, the magicians copied what was shown, but only made the plague more known. Pharaoh called for Moses, then pray to your God to end this plague. Take these frogs away from me, and I'll let Israel go free. Moses said the name, the time, when shall God remove the sign? Pharaoh answered, tomorrow. Then Moses said, it will happen again, so you may know no one can stand beside the Lord in all the land. Moses cried to God that day, and frogs began to pass away. They died in houses, fields and courts, piled in heaps through every port. The land fell foul beneath the sun, but Pharaoh hardened when relief had come. Then God told Moses, Aaron must strike the ground and raise the dust. Aaron struck the earth below, and gnats appeared in swarming flow on people, beasts across the land. Dust became life by God's command. The magicians tried but could not match their false power. Finally cracked, they told Pharaoh, this is God's own hand. But Pharaoh still refused to stand. Then God told Moses, rise at dawn, meet Pharaoh as he walks along. Tell him again, let my people go. Flies will swarm and overflow, but Goshen's land will be set apart. No plague will touch my people's heart. Then Egypt will know my hand is near. The Lord is present, strong and clear. lies came thick through Pharaoh's place, ruining Egypt's living space. Pharaoh called them back once more, sacrifice here, don't leave my shore. Don't leave my shore. Moses said that cannot be. Egypt would hate what they would see. We must go out 3 days away and worship God the proper way. Pharaoh said, I'll let you go, but not too far beyond my control. Pray for me and end this pain. Moses warned, don't lie again. Moses prayed and God removed every fly from every rule. Not one remained across the land. But Pharaoh hardened hand. Again he refused to let them go, and Egypt stayed beneath the blow. And God told Moses, go once more, stand before Pharaoh's door. Tell him this from Israel's Lord, let my people go to worship. If you refuse and hold him still, a plague will strike by heaven's will. The livestock out across the land, horses, camels, sheep, and cattle will fall beneath a deadly hand. But Israel's herds I will divide. No Hebrew beast will lose its life. The Lord set time for it to fall, and next day judgment touched them all. Egypt's livestock dropped and died, but Israel's animals survived. Pharaoh sent to search it out and found the Hebrews untouched. Still his heart refused to bend, and he would not release them then. Then God said, take ash in hand, throw it upward through the land. Moses cast it toward the sky, and painful boils began to rise on every person, every beast. Sore spread hot across the streets. The magicians could not stand, covered too by judgment's hand. Yet Pharaoh's heart stayed cold inside, exactly as God prophesied. And God spoke early in the dawn, rise again and confront Pharaoh. Tell him I could wipe away you and Egypt in a day, but I have raised you up instead to show my power through the earth. Still you stand against my will and hold my people captive. Still tomorrow hail, unlike the past, will fall with force across the land. Bring your servants safely in, anything outside will end. Some Egyptians feared the word and sheltered servants with their herds. Others mocked and stayed the same, ignoring every warning came. Moses stretched the staff on high, thunder rolled across the sky. Fire flashed inside the hail, and Egypt shook beneath the plague. Hail destroyed the crops and trees, crushing all across the fields. Only Goshen's land stood free, where Israel's people used to be. Then Pharaoh called for Moses near. I have sinned this time, declared the Lord is right and I am wrong. Pray the storm now moves along, I'll let your people leave this land. You don't need to stay again. Moses said, when I leave town, I'll pray and thunder will die down, so you will know the earth belongs to God above all thrones. Yet Moses knew inside his mind Pharaoh still would change in time. The flax and barley both were lost, broken down beneath the storm. But bean and spelt survived the waves, since they ripened later days. Moses left and prayed once more, and thunder ceased across the world. Rain and hail no longer fell, silence sailing after hell. But when Pharaoh saw relief, his heart returned beneath deceit. He hardened all his servants too, and would not let Israel through. God spoke again to Moses there. Go to Pharaoh once more. I have hardened hearts inside, so my signs will multiply. Future generations will hear what I did in Egypt here. They will know through all these things that I alone am truly king. Moses and Aaron face the throne. How long will pride hold strong? Let God's people leave this land. Stop resisting his command. If you still refuse today, locusts will consume the land. Nothing left from hell remains, will survive the coming swarm. Pharaoh's servants begged in fear, how long will this destroy us here? Do you not yet understand? Egypt falls worship if you must, but who exactly leads with you? Moses answered without pause, young and old together go. Sons and daughters, flocks and herds, all belong before the Lord. Pharaoh answered sharp with rage, no, only men may go this way. They were driven from the court, judgment waiting at the door. God told Moses, raise your hand, stretch it out across the land. An east wind blew through day and night, carrying locusts into sight. Morning came and Egypt shook, locusts thicker than ever known. They covered all the face of earth, darkness falling over fields. Every tree and every crop disappeared beneath the swarm. Nothing green remained alive anywhere on Egypt's side. Pharaoh quickly called them near. I have sinned against your God here. Pray this death now moves away. Take this judgment from my land. Moses prayed before the Lord, and the wind reversed its course. West wind carried locusts far, thrown into the sea afar. Not a single swarm remained anywhere in Egypt's land. Still the Lord hardened Pharaoh's pride, and Israel stayed denied. Then God said, lift your hand high. Darkness now will fill the sky. Moses stretched the staff again, and darkness covered Egypt. Then 3 full days, no light appeared. No one moved through all the fear, yet Israel's home still carried light. Right within the endless night, Pharaoh called for Moses near. Go now, leave this place from here. Take your children to this day, only flocks and herds must stay. Moses answered standing tall, you must give offerings for us all. Not one hoof will stay behind, for we do not yet know the signs God requires when we arrive. Pharaoh's anger burst alive, leave my sight and never return. If I see your face again, you will surely meet your end. Moses answered firm and slow, you have spoken, it will be so. I will not return again. Then God spoke to Moses near, one more plague will strike from here. After this Pharaoh will break, he will drive you all away. Now just send you slowly out. He will cast you fully out. Tell the people secretly, ask Egyptians generously. Silver, gold, and precious things will be placed within their hands. God gave Moses favor there in Egypt in Pharaoh's court. Even servants feared his name, knowing power walked with him. Then Moses stood before the throne, delivering God's final warning. About midnight I will move through the heart of Egypt soon. Every firstborn in the land will fall beneath my hand. From Pharaoh seated on the throne, the servants grinding grain alone. Even firstborn beasts will die, judgment moving through the night. A cry will rise through Egypt's streets, unlike anything before seen. Never has such grief been known, nor will it rise again. But among Israel not a sound, not a dog will bark around. In Egypt finally will know God divides his people, so all your servants then will bow. Coming low before me now, they will beg us all to leave, and after that we will be free. Moses left with burning rage, Pharaoh hardened still in place. God had said this all before, Pharaoh will refuse once more, so my wonders multiply, and Egypt fully sees my might. Moses and Aaron did the signs, yet Pharaoh closed his heart and mind. He would not release the slaves, though judgment stood at Egypt's gate. Yeah. God spoke to Moses and Aaron there. This month begins your calendar year. Tell all Israel house by house, choose one lamb and mark it out. On the 10th day set it aside, one per home where families abide. If the household is too small, share with neighbors, feed them all. The lamb must be spotless pure, a year-old male, complete and sure. Keep it until the 14th day, then the twilight take its life away. Put the blood on doorposts high and on the frame where families hide. Roast the lamb and eat that night with bitter herbs and bread, no rise. Eat it dressed and ready to flee, sandals on feet, staff gripped tightly. This is Passover unto me, a night of judgment, a night set free. I will pass through Egypt's land, strike the firstborn by my hand. But when I see the blood displayed, I will pass over where you stay. No blade will break through that door, no death will enter there anymore. Keep this day through every age, age. A feast remembered page by page. 7 days eat bread without yeast. Cut off pride and cleanse the feast. Teach your children why this came. How God delivered through his name. Moses called the elders near. Choose the lambs and listen clear. Dip the branch into the blood. Mark the doorway as you should. Do not leave until the dawn. Stay inside while death moves on. When your children ask one day, what does this service mean? You'll say, this is Passover, holy and true. God spared our homes and brought us through. Israel bowed and went away, doing all God told that day. At midnight judgment filled the land. Every firstborn struck by God's hand. Pharaoh rose in grief and fear. Egypt's cry was everywhere. No home untouched by sorrow's sound. Death had shaken Egypt's ground. Pharaoh called them in the night. Go, leave now, get out of my sight. Take your children, flocks and herds. Worship your God, go keep your word. Bless me too before you go. His pride brought low beneath the blow. Egypt urged them, leave with haste. Or we all will die in this place. So Israel carried dough unraised, wrapped in cloth for fleeing days. They asked for silver, gold, and clothes. Egypt gave as God foretold. From Ramesses to Succoth they went. A massive people freedom sent. 600,000 men on foot, plus families moving as they could. A mixed crowd joined them on the way, with flocks and herds in broad array. They baked the dough without the yeast. No time to wait, no settled feast. For 430 years they stayed and left that land. On the very day the Lord kept watch that night in power. Freedom rising at midnight's hour. This night belongs to God alone, remembered by every household known. God gave Moses one more law: who may eat and who withdraws. No stranger eats unless brought near, marked by covenants, joined in fear. One house, one lamb, no bone shall break. A holy meal for freedom's sake. All Israel kept the word that day, and God led all his people away. Yeah. God spoke to Moses once again. Set apart every firstborn man, every firstborn from whom the life belongs to me by sacred right. Moses told the people there, remember this forever. Hear the day God brought you from the chains, out from Egypt's crushing reign. No, ye shall now be eaten here, for freedom came with haste and fear. In this month you now depart, carry this memory in your heart. When God brings you to promised land, flowing rich by his own hand, keep this feast through every year. 7 days with bread sincere. On the seventh hold a feast dedicated unto me. Know ye seen through all your ground, none within your borders found. You must teach your children too. This is what God brought us through. By his mighty hand alone he brought us from oppression's hold. This shall be a sign you wear, a reminder always there. Then Moses spoke regarding sons when firstborn children come. Every firstborn male belongs unto God who brought you on. Redeem your sons and livestock too, remembering what God brought through. When children ask you why, one day you will tell them and explain. Pharaoh hardened in his pride, would not let God's people rise. So God struck Egypt's firstborn line, but spared our children through the night. That is why we honor now the firstborn life before the Lord. When Pharaoh finally let them leave, God did not take the shortest streets, though close by Philistine land. War might drive them back again, so God led them the desert way, toward the Red Sea's distant place. Israel marched, prepare for war, leaving Egypt's broken shores. Moses carried Joseph's bones, honoring the ancient oath. Joseph once had made them swear, take my bones when God comes here. God moved before them on the road, leading where the people go. Cloud by day before their eyes, fire by night against the skies. The pillar never left its place, guiding Israel through the waste. Day and night God led them through. Visible proof his promise true. Yeah. God spoke to Moses once again. Turn the people toward the sea, then camp beside the waters wide. Hemmed in with nowhere left to hide. Pharaoh will believe you trapped, lost within the desert path. Then I'll harden Pharaoh's pride, and he will chase you one last time. Through this Egypt finally sees I alone am truly king. Pharaoh heard the people fled, and anger filled his heart again. Why did we let Israel go? Now our slaves are gone for good. He prepared his chariots fast, gathered all his army army rank 600 chosen chariots came, captains riding into place. Egypt chased with all its might, closing fast before the night. Israel looked and saw the dust, Pharaoh's forces rising up. Fear exploded through the camp, panic spread from rank to rank. They cried out before the Lord, then blamed Moses and their whore. Were there not enough graves there, that you brought us here to perish? Why lead us from Egypt's chains, only now for us to die? Better slavery back there than death out here beneath despair. Moses answered through the fear, do not be afraid right here. Stand and watch what God will do, salvation now will break through. The Egyptians you see today, you will never see again. God himself will fight this war, you need only trust the Lord. Then God spoke from Moses strong, why cry out, move forward on. Lift your staff above the sea, stretch your hand and split it deep. Israel will walk across dry ground where waters once were crossed. I will harden Egypt still, they will chase by stubborn will. Then my glory will be shown over Pharaoh's prideful throne. The angel guarding Israel's side moved behind them through the night. Cloud and darkness filled the space, separating both the camps. Dark to Egypt watching eyes, light to Israel through the night. Moses stretched the staff ahead, and east wind blew across the depths. All night long the water split, walls of sea on either side. Israel crossed on solid ground, dry earth where waves once thundered loud. Egypt charged behind the path, chariots racing through the gap. And God looked from fire and cloud and threw Egypt into doubt. Chariot wheels broke apart, panic struck their hardened hearts. Egypt cried, retreat and run. God fights for Israel. Then God told Moses, stretch once more your hand across the waters. Moses raised the staff again, and the sea returned on them. Waves collapsed with crushing force over soldiers, kings, and horse. Not a single one remained, Egypt buried by the waves. Israel stood safe that day, watching bodies wash away. They saw the mighty hand of God, and fear of him spread through the crowd. The people trusted God anew, and Moses as his servant. Yeah. Then Moses and Israel sang, voices rising through the land. I will sing unto the Lord, he is triumphed by his power. Horse and rider thrown beneath the crashing force of raging seas. The Lord alone has been my strength, my salvation in the depths. He is my God and I will praise my Father's God through all my days. The Lord is warrior and king, mighty through all everything. Pharaoh's armies, chariots too, buried deep beneath the blue. Chosen captain sank like stone, swallowed by the waters. Roar your right hand, Lord, breaks apart every enemy of heart. By your greatness kingdoms fall, pride collapses at your call. Who compares to you, O Lord? Holy, fearful, wrapped in glory, working wonders none withstand. Power moving through your hand, you stretched out the earth below. Enemies consumed whole, by your mercy you now lead people you have just redeemed. Nations hear and shake with fear, terror spreading far and near. Philistines grow weak inside, Edom trembles in their pride. Moab melts in fear and dread, Canaan's strength begins to bend. Until your people fully pass, those you purchased by your hand. You will plant them in the land, mountain made by your own hand. The Lord shall reign forevermore, beyond all kingdoms, crowns, and war. For Pharaoh's horses charged the sea, but God brought waves relentlessly. Israel crossed on dry sea floor, safe beneath the Lord once more. Then Miriam took tambourines, women dancing through the streets. They answered all with joyful songs, sing unto the Lord alone. Horse and rider cast below, victory belongs to God. And Moses led them on with fire into wilderness and desert hard. 3 days passed with no fresh spring, only thirst and wandering. And narrow waters filled the sight, but bitterness prevented life. The people murmured once again, what are we supposed to drink? Moses cried before the Lord, and God revealed a piece of wood. Thrown into the bitter stream, the waters turned completely clean. There God gave commands and ways, testing hearts beneath the strain. If you listen to my voice, walk within my righteous ways, I will not bring Egypt's pain upon you through disease and plague. For I am the Lord your healer, still came to Willem's Rest, 12 springs and palm trees standing blessed. There beside the waters clear, Israel camped and rested there. Yeah. Israel journeyed onward still, through the desert dry and still. 1 month after leaving chains, hunger spread across the plains. The people murmured through the camp, complaining hard against the path. If only we had died back there, back in Egypt's cooking fires. There we sat with meat and bread, now we starve out here instead. Then God spoke to Moses clear, I will rain down bread from here. Heaven's bread will fall each day, testing if they'll walk my way. Gather only what they need, daily trust will shape belief. But on 6th day gather more, double portion for the store. Moses and Aaron faced the crowd, tonight you'll know beyond all doubt. God has brought you from the chains, though he's heard your constant blame. Your complaints are not at us, you complain against the Lord. Aaron looked across the land and glory filled the desert sand. God said at evening meat will come, morning bread for everyone. That night quail covered all the ground, food appearing all around. Morning came and dew lay still, then lifted from the desert hills. Thin flakes covered all the land, something strange beneath their hands. Israel asked, what is this? For they did not know what it meant. Moses said, this is the bread God has given you to eat. Gather what each house requires, enough for every appetite. Some gathered much and some gathered small, yet everyone still had enough. No one lacked and none overflowed, each received their needed portion. Moses warned them carefully, do not save till morning seen. But some ignored what Moses said, keeping leftovers instead. Morning came and worms had spread, a rotten stench through all the bread. Then they gathered every dawn, before the desert heat came on. On 6th day they gathered twice, wonder rising through their eyes. Leaders questioned what this meant, and Moses answered their concern. Tomorrow is a holy rest, Sabbath set and fully blessed. Bake today what must be made, store the rest for Sabbath day. This time what they kept stayed good, no decay beneath the food. Still some searched on Sabbath morn, but found no manna anymore. God said, how long will they refuse to trust the words I've given you? The Sabbath is my gift to man, resting from the labor's hand. So the people finally stayed, resting on the 7th day. Israel named the bread manna, white like seed with honey flavor. God told Moses, keep some stored a testimony through the years. Future generations will see how I fed you in the wilderness. Aaron placed the jar aside before the covenant testified. For 40 years the manna came, to Canaan's borders they obtained. Yeah. Israel journeyed stage by stage, following where God displayed. They camped where water could not be found, dryness stretching all around. The people argued, anger rose. Give us water now, they spoke. Moses answered through the strain, why test God again and again? But thirst burned hard throughout the camp. Complaints spread fast through every rank. Why bring us from Egypt's chains, just to let us die this way? Our children thirst, our livestock too. Everything falls apart out here. Moses cried before the Lord, what am I supposed to do? These people ready, stones in hand, close to striking where I stand. God God replied, walk on ahead, take the elders with you then. Carry now the staff once raised, the one that struck the river's waves. I will stand before you there at Horeb's rock within the desert. Strike the stone before their eyes, and living water will arise. Moses did as God declared before the watching elders there. Water burst from out the stone, life where dryness once had grown. He named the place from what took place. Testing, striving, doubt, and rage for the people. Question still, is God among us or not here? Then Amalek came to war, attacking Israel by the sword. Moses told young Joshua, choose men now and fight for us. Tomorrow I will stand above. Staff of God lifted up, Joshua fought upon the field while Moses climbed the desert hill. Aaron and Hur stood nearby, watching through the battle cries. Whenever Moses raised his hands, Israel gained across the land. But when exhaustion pulled him down, Amalek would turn to ground. Moses' arms grew weak with strain, so they placed a stone beneath him. Aaron stood on one side there, Hur upon the other. Shared together, held his hands upright until the setting of the light. Joshua overwhelmed the foe, driving Amalek below. Then God spoke to Moses clear, write this down for future years. I will blot Amalek away, the memory fading someday. Moses built an altar there, worship rising through the air. He named it from what had been shown. The Lord our banner stands alone. For hands were lifted toward God's throne, and victory came from Him alone. Yeah. Yeah. Jethro heard what God had done, how he freed Israel through his power. Moses' father-in-law arrived, bringing family by his side. Zipporah came with Moses' sons, Gershom and Eliezer. One name for a foreign land, one because God saved his hand. Moses went to greet them there, bowing low with love and care. They entered in and shared the news, everything God brought them through. How Pharaoh fought with heart and pride, how God delivered Israel's life. Jethro rejoiced at all he heard, blessing Israel's mighty Lord. Now I know above all gods the Lord stands high through mighty works. Egypt acted proud and cruel, but God overturned their rule. Jethro offered sacrifice, sharing fellowship that night. Aaron came and elders too, eating there before God's view. The next day Moses took his seat, judging people endlessly. Morning stretched till evening fell, crowds surrounding where he dwelled. Jethro watched and questioned him, what is this exhausting thing? Why sit here alone all day while people stand and wait? Moses answered, they come to me, seeking God's authority. I decide what should be done, teaching laws to everyone. Jethro answered firm and wise, this is not a healthy life. You will wear yourself away, and these people with the strain of burdens far too much to bear. You cannot do this alone here. Listen now to what I say, and may God direct your way. Stand before God for the crowd, teach His laws and speak them loud, 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 loud. Show them how they ought to live and the work they each should give. But choose leaders from the land, trustworthy and steady men. Men who fear the Lord above, hate corruption, walk in truth. Place them over groups arranged, thousands, hundreds, tens by rank. Let them judge the smaller things, bring the hardest ones to you. Then the burden will divide and the people satisfied. Moses listened to the plan, doing what was wise at hand. Leaders chosen through the tribes, helping carry out the line. Simple matters they resolve, harder ones to Moses brought. Then Jethro left and journeyed home, while Israel continued on. Yeah. 3 months after leaving chains, Israel reached the mountain range, into Sinai's wilderness. Camped before the mountain's crest, Moses climbed toward God alone, and God spoke down from heaven's throne. Tell the house of Jacob this, speak to Israel's children clear. You have seen what I have done, how I crushed Egyptian strength, how I carried you like eagles, brought you safely unto me. Now if you obey my voice, keep the covenant I give, you will be my treasured people, set apart above the nations. For the earth belongs to me, yet you will stand uniquely. You shall be a kingdom, holy priest before the world to me. Moses came and called the elders, shared the word God gave him there. The people answered all as one, we will do what God commands. Moses carried back their words and God answered once again. I will come within a cloud so the people hear me speak. Then they'll trust through future years, knowing I have met you here. God told Moses, set them clean, consecrate them for 3 days. Wash their clothes and make them ready for the third day I descend. Set boundaries round the mount, warn them not to cross the line. Whoever touches Sinai's edge will not survive beneath my presence. Neither hand nor foot shall touch, they must perish from afar. Only when the trumpet sounds may they approach the mountain ground. Moses went and warned the camp, calling all to purify. Prepare yourselves, the coming days. Do not treat this lightly now. Morning came on day the third, thunder shaking through the earth. Lightning flashed across the sky, heavy cloud descending high. Trumpet blast grew long and loud, fear spread through the gathered crowd. Moses led them from the camp, meeting God before the mount. Sinai burned in fire and smoke, like a furnace heaven broke. The whole mountain shook with force, trumpet sounding stronger still. Moses spoke and God replied, voice like thunder from the heights. God descended upon the peak, calling Moses up to speak. Again God warning carefully, keep the people back from me. Do not let them break the line, or destruction they will find. Even priests must consecrate, or my judgment they will face. Moses answered, they know well the boundary warnings that you tell. Still God said, go down once more, bring back Aaron none before. But let not priests or people rise past the limits I design. Moses went and warned them there, as Sinai thundered through the air.
Then God spoke with thunder's voice, words no nation could ignore. I am the Lord who brought you out from slavery in Pharaoh's house. You shall have no gods but me, none before my majesty. Do not carve an idol's form, bow to images no more. I am jealous for devotion, judging hate through generations. Yeah, my mercy overflows to those who love and keep my ways. Do not take my name in vain, treat it holy, not profane. Remember now the Sabbath day, keep it set apart always. 6 days labor with your hands, but the 7 belongs to God. For in 6 days earth was formed, then God rested from his work. Honor father, honor mother, so your days may lengthen further. Do not murder out of hate, do not violate the marriage bed. Do not steal another's gain, do not lie for selfish gains. Do not covet what's not yours, house or spouse or wealth or more. Thunder rolled and trumpets cried, fire blazed on Sinai's side. The people trembled, filled with fear, standing back from what they heard. They cried to Moses, speak for us, do not let God speak direct. If we hear his voice again, surely we will meet our end. Moses answered, calm but strong, do not fear what's happening now. God has come to test your hearts, so reverence keeps you from the dark. Still the people kept their place, far beneath the mountain blaze. Moses entered through the cloud, where thick darkness wrapped around. And God spoke, more laws ahead, you yourselves have seen and heard. Do not make God's form from gold, silver idols shaped and molded. Build an altar made from earth, sacrifice there and worship. If you build with stones instead, do not shape them by your hand, for your tools would stain the place. Human pride corrupting grace. Do not climb with steps too high, exposing shame before my sight. These are the laws now set in place, given before the nation's face. If you buy a Hebrew servant, 6 years labor marks the burden. On the 7th he goes free, released without a debt to keep. If he entered life alone, alone he leaves and journeys home. If he came with wife beside, she leaves there at his side. But if his master gave him wife and children came into their life, the wife and children stay behind unless he chooses otherwise. If the servant says with heart, I love my home and won't depart, then his year is marked for life, serving there by willing choice. If a daughter sold in need, she's not treated like slavery. If her master treats her wrong, she must not remain there long. If another wife is taken, food and care must not be broken. If these rights are cast aside, she goes free without a price. Whoever strikes and murders man faces death by God's command. But if it happened not by hate, a place of refuge will await. Who attacks father or mother or curses them with violent anger faces judgment strong and sure. For such rebellion tears the core. Kidnapping another soul brings the sentence death alone. If men fight and someone falls, it rises later. After all, the striker pays for lost work time and healing through recovery's line. If a servant struck and dies, judgment follows for the crime. But if the servant lives a day, the matter judged another way. If fighting harms a pregnant wife, yet no death consumes the life, payments made through judgment fair, measured carefully with care. But if life is taken there, then equal justice must appear. Eye for eye and tooth for tooth, hand for hand and measured truth, burn for burn and wound for wound, justice answering what was done. If a servant loses sight, freedom comes through damaged life. If an ox attacks and kills, that beast must die upon the hill. Its meat cannot be eaten, then the owner stands innocent. But if the ox was known to gore and warnings came to them before, yet still restrained no proper way, then owner too may have to pay. If ransom said instead of death, the price must satisfy the debt. If the ox kills servant life, silver payment marks the price. If one man's ox harms another's beast, the value split between the chiefs. If someone leaves a pit exposed and animals fall down below, the owner pays the damage cost, replacing fully what was lost. The fire spreads through fields and grain, the one who caused it bears the blame. These laws formed order through the land, justice shaped by God's own hand. Yeah. If someone steals an ox or sheep, then kills or sells what they did keep, they must repay far more instead, justice answering what was led. If a thief breaks in at night and dies while entering inside, no guilt remains upon that hand, for danger rose within the land. But if the sun had clearly shown, then bloodshed guilt may still be known. A thief must fully pay what's owed or sold himself to clear the load. If stolen goods are found alive, double payment will arise. If animals graze another's field, restitution must be revealed. If fire spreads beyond control, the one who sparked it bears the cost. If goods are placed in someone's care and theft or loss happens there, judges search to find the truth where the trust was broken through. If livestock dies or disappears, those before God settled fears. But if neglect of theft is shown, payment must be fully owed. If someone borrows beast for tool and damage comes while in their use, they must repay what has been harmed unless the owner was involved. If a man seduces one not yet promised into love, he must pay the bridal price and take responsibility in life. If a father still says no, payment must still fully flow. Sorcery must not remain, its practice brings destructive ways. Bestial acts and idle feasts bring judgment strong beneath these streets. Do not mistreat foreigners, therefore once you live to strangers too. Do not crush the widow's soul, nor leave the orphan broken low. If they cry beneath abuse, God himself will answer through. His anger burns against the wrong, and justice won't delay for long. If lending money to the poor, do not exploit or demand more. Take no crushing interest there, show compassion, show them care. If you hold a cloak and pledge, return it before evening sets. That covering may be all they own, what else protects them from the cold? Do not curse authority, nor mock the leaders over thee. Give first fruits faithfully, honor God with loyalty. Firstborn sons belong to him, as do cattle from the field. Set apart what God declares, live his people marked with care. Do not eat what beasts have torn, leave corruption where it falls. Do not spread dishonest lies, nor join the wicked in disguise. Do not follow evil crowds, twisting justice loud and proud. Show fairness to the weak and poor, but truth must still remain secure. If you find your enemy's beats lost along the road or streets, bring it back despite the hate. Do what righteousness creates. If your enemy's donkey falls, help him lift beneath the load.
sight, keep far from false and deadly claims. For God sees through corrupted ways. 6 years planting harvest fields, but 7th year let rest be real. Let the poor then gather food and wild beasts eat the leftovers too. 6 days labor with your hands, 7th day release the strain. Give your servants rest and breath, even animals refresh. Do not speak false gods with praise. Let no idol cross your lips. Yeah. Yeah. Ay. Do not spread dishonest claims, nor support corruption's ways. Do not follow crowds in wrong, truth must still remain strong. Do not twist the law for gain, whether rich or poor in claim. If your enemy's ox is lost, bring it back despite the cost. If you see his donkey fall, help him lift beneath the load. Do not deny the weak their right, justice must remain upright. Keep far from false and deadly speech, do not condemn the innocent. I will not excuse the wicked, though hidden schemes attempt to twist it. Do not take a bribe in hand, for gifts can blind the wisest man. Do not crush the foreign soul, you know how strangers bear the road. 6 years sow and reap the land, harvest all that grows by hand. But the 7th let it rest, leave the fields unworked and blessed. Then the poor may gather food, while beasts eat the leftovers too. 6 days labor with your strength, 7th day release the weight. Servants, strangers, beasts alike all receive restoring life. Do not speak false gods aloud, nor let their names pass through your mouth. Out, 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 out. 3 times yearly gather near, hold a feast before me here. Feast of unleavened bread comes first, remember freedom from the curse. Eat the bread without the yeast, as commanded for the feast. Then the harvest feast arrives, first fruits gathered from your lives. Finally the gathering, when the final crops are brought in. None shall come before me there, empty-handed anywhere. Do not mix the sacred blood with corruption or with leaven. First fruits bring before the Lord, honor him with what comes first. Do not boil a young goat down in its mother's milk around. And God spoke these words ahead, I send an angel where you tread. He will guard you on the road, lead you where I say to go. Listen closely to his voice, do not rebel against my words. My authority rests in him, he will not excuse rebellion. But if you obey my ways, enemies will fall away. I'll oppose opposing hands and drive out nations from the land. Little by little they will fall until you fully claim it all. Do not bow to foreign gods, nor serve the idols they uphold. Tear them down and break their stones, worship me and me alone. I will bless your food and drink, keep disease far from your midst. None will miscarry in the land, long life resting in your hands. Fear of me will go before, driving nations from the shore. Hornets scatter enemies, preparing all the land you'll need. From the sea to desert sand, I will stretch your borders wide. But make no covenant with lies, nor let false worship stay alive. If they remain among your land, they will pull your hearts from me again. Yeah. God told Moses, come up near, bring Aaron and the elders here. Nadab and Abihu rise, 70 elders by your side. They shall worship from afar, but Moses comes where I alone are. The people must not cross the line or rush into my holy side. Moses came and spoke aloud, every law before the crowd. All the people answer strong, we will do what God commands. Moses wrote the words all down and rose early with the dawn. At the mountain's base he built an altar formed beneath the hill. 12 stone pillars standing near, representing every tribe there. Young men offered sacrifice, burnt offerings before God's eyes. Peace offerings from oxen slain, blood collected in the basins. Half the blood on altar spread, half still held by Moses there. Then he read the covenant book, every word the people took. Again the people answered clear, we will obey all written here. Moses took the blood in hand, sprinkled it across the land. Behold the covenant blood, God now makes with all of you. Then Moses climbed with those called near, Aaron and the elders there. And somehow there before their sight Israel's God appeared in light. Underneath his feet there shines something like sapphire in design, clear as heaven's highest height, brilliant underneath divine light. Yet though they saw the holy scene, God did not strike the leaders there. They beheld the presence near and ate together without fear. Then God called Moses further still, come higher on the mountain hill. I will give the stone carved law, commandments written by my hand. Moses rose with Joshua, climbing toward the mountain heights. To the elders Moses said, wait here till we return again. Aaron and Hur remain behind, bring disputes to them in time. Moses climbed into the cloud and God's glory settled down. 6 full days the cloud remained, covering Sinai wrapped in flame. On the 7th God then spoke, calling Moses through the smoke to Israel watching from below. God's glory looked like burning fire. Moses entered through the cloud, ascending where God thundered loud. 40 days and 40 nights he remained upon the height. Yeah, God spoke to Moses from the height. Tell the people bring an offering from every heart that gives freely. Receive the gifts brought unto me. Gold and silver, bronze as well, blue and purple woven thread, fine linen, goat hair, cloth, ram skins dyed and strong acacia wood. Oil for lamps, a fragrant spice, stones for garments shining bright. Build for me a holy place so my presence dwells with them. Follow every pattern shown exactly as I make it known. First construct the sacred chest, ark of covenant and rest. Acacia wood with gold refined inside and now completely lined. Place 4 golden rings beside, poles for carrying at its size. The poles remain and never leave, ready for the journey's needs. Inside place the covenant stone, testimony I will give. Make a mercy seat of gold, cherubim with wings outstretched, facing inward toward the place where my presence rests in grace. There above the mercy seat I will meet and speak with thee. Make a table strong and wide, covered over gold inside. Place the bread before my face, a lasting sign in sacred space. Craft a lampstand hammered pure, branches shining bright and sure. Cups like almond blossoms form, knops and flowers all adorn. 7 lamps upon the stand, lighting up the holy place. Tongues and trays of gold refined, fashioned holy by design. See that everything is made by the pattern I displayed. Yeah. God continued speaking there, giving patterns filled with care. Build the tabernacle walls with woven curtains through it all. Fine linen crafted blue and red, cherubim worked through the threads. 10 long curtains joined as one, measured carefully and done. Loops of blue along the edge, golden clasps connecting them. The dwelling formed together tight, one whole structure in my sight. Make more curtains out of hair, goat hair coverings layered there. 11 curtains stretched above, protecting what is built below. Bronze clasps bind the coverings fast, sheltering the sacred place. Ram skins dyed in red laid high, another covering over top besides. Acacia boards now make the frame, standing upright all the same. Silver sockets underneath, holding up the sanctuary. Bars of wood run through the sides, strengthening the structure's lines. Overlay the wood with gold, everything refined and holy. Then construct the inner veil, blue and scarlet finely made. Cherubim woven through the cloth, marking sacredness of God. Hang it underneath the clasp, separating holy space. Beyond the veil the ark shall stay, most holy place set apart always. The table stands outside the veil, lamps stand opposite as well. Light will shine before the Lord within the holy place restored. Then create the entrance screen, blue and purple woven clean. 5 gold covered pillars stand, bronze foundations underneath them. Yeah. God spoke further from the cloud, giving holy patterns now. Build the altar strong and wide, acacia wood at every side. 5 cubits long and 5 across, 3 cubits high beneath the cross. Make 4 horns upon the edge, one whole piece completely shaped. Overlay with bronze refined, fit for sacrifice and fire. Mount the pans and forks beside, basin, shovels, tools designed. Bronze for every sacred thing, everything belonging in. Construct the grate beneath the fire. Bronze network stretched and lifted higher. Rings upon the corners placed, poles for carrying through each stage. Build the courtyard all around, fine linen forming sacred bounds. South and north 100 long, pillars holding curtains strong. Silver hooks and bronze below, measured just the way I show. West side shore to east the gate, colored weaving marks the place. Blue and purple scarlet thread, fine twine linen overhead. The courtyard separates the ground, a holy dwelling set apart. Command the people, oil provide, pure pressed olive for the light. Aaron and his sons will tend the lamps before my presence there. From evening till the morning comes, the flame shall burn before the Lord. A lasting statute through all years, for every generation here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, God spoke to Moses from the height. Call your brother Aaron near. Bring his sons beside him too, set apart for priestly use. Aaron, Nadab, Abihu, stand, Eleazar and Ithamar. Make them garments filled with glory, holy beauty before me. Give the skilled ones wisdom's art, so sacred clothing sets apart. The ephod first shall now be made, golden woven colored thread. Blue and purple scarlet line, fine linen crafted and refined. 2 shoulder stones set in gold, names of Israel engraved and told. 6 tribes written on each side, carried always before my eyes. Aaron bears them on his shoulders, a memorial forever. Then the breastpiece judgment bears, worked with skill and woven care. Square and folded precious stones, 12 gems shining bright as dawn. Each engraved with tribal names, Israel carried close again. Aaron bears them on his heart when he enters holy part. Place the Urim and Thummim there, seeking judgment through my care. Make the robe completely blue, golden bells attached throughout. Pomegranates around the handbell sounding when he enters, and their sound heard before the Lord, so he lives and dies no more. Craft a golden plate as well, fastened on the turban there. Holy unto God engraved, worn before my sacred face. Aaron carries Israel's guilt, so offerings may still be blessed. Fine linen garments also weave, sashes, coats, and coverings. Clothe the priests in holy dress, consecrate them for service. Make linen garments underneath, covering nakedness beneath. Whenever they approach the place, they must honor sacred space. This remains through every age, priestly laws that do not fade. Yeah. God spoke to Moses from the fire. Consecrate the priest for service. Take 1 young bull and rams beside, bread without the yeast inside. Gather Aaron and his sons, wash them clean before they come. Clothe Aaron in the sacred robes, ephod breastpiece woven gold. Place the turban on his head, holy crown positioned there. Pour the oil upon him, then anointing him before all men. Bring his sons and clothe them too, tunics, sashes, garments new. The priesthood now belongs to them, a lasting role through future years. Bring the bull before the tent, Aaron's sons place hands on head. Kill the bull before the Lord, blood applied upon the horns. For the rest beside the base, burn select parts in sacred flame. But the flesh and hide outside, burn beyond the camp entirely. This bull removes impurity, a sacrifice for cleansing needs. Take the first ram now as well, hands upon it where it fell. Kill the ram and spread the blood, splashing all around the altar. Cut it into pieces there, wash the inward parts with care. Burn the whole ram completely, an offering ascending sweet. Take the second ram, the near ram of consecration here. Aaron and his sons again place their hands upon the ram. Take its blood and touch the ear, thumb and toe of every priest. Consecrate their walk and hearing, every action now God-fearing. Splash the altar with the blood, mixed with oil from holy use. Sprinkle garments, priests and sons, consecration fully done. Boil the ram and eat the bread at the holy tent instead. Only priests may eat these things, sacred meals for consecrating. 7 days complete this rite, day by day the altar purified. Then the altar shall be holy, whoever touches becomes holy. Every day offer 2 lambs, morning first and evening second, with grain and drink before the Lord. A continual offering poured, there I will meet
spoke further unto Moses. Build an altar just for incense. Acacia wood with gold refined, square and shaped by my design. Place it near before the veil, close beside the sacred place. Aaron burns sweet incense there every morning with great care. When he lights the lamps at dusk, incense rises up to God. No strange incense offered there, no burnt sacrifice appears. Once each year atonement blood placed upon its sacred horns, most holy unto the Lord, generation after generation. When you count the people's number, each must give redemption silver. Rich and poor the same amount, none above another. Counted half a shekel given there for the service and repair. This becomes memorial silver, atonement for the people's lives. Make a bronze basin for washing, placed between the tent and altar. Aaron and his sons must cleanse hands and feet before they enter. Otherwise they'll die before standing in the holy courts. This remains a lasting law for the priesthood evermore. Then God gave the holy oil, sacred blend for sacred use, flowing myrrh and fragrant spice, olive oil prepare precise. Anoint the tent and every vessel, consecrate the holy objects. Anoint Aaron and his sons, set apart for sacred functions. No common use for the Shorites, none may copy its design. Holy things remain set holy, separated unto God. Then the incense recipe was regal, carefully stacked on like a galbanum, pure frankincense. Among them blended, holy, fine and pure, placed before the covenant there. Do not copy for yourselves, it belongs to God alone. Whoever makes it casually will be cut from community. God spoke to Moses from the height. I have chosen one by name, Bezalel from Judah's line, filled with wisdom by my spirit. Skill and knowledge in his hands, craftsmanship for sacred things. Gold and silver, bronze refined, cutting stones and shaping wood. Every kind of holy work flows through him by my design. I've appointed a holy app to working faithfully beside him, and I've placed within the hearts of skilled men wisdom from above. They will build all I command, tent and ark and mercy seat, table, lampstand, altar, flames, every vessel for the place. Priestly garments woven bright, holy clothing set apart, oil and incense sacred made, everything just as I say. Then God spoke concerning rest, keep my Sabbaths faithfully. This will stand as sign between me and you through every age. You will know through Sabbath rest, I am God who makes you holy. 6 days labor with your hands, 7th day belongs to rest. Anyone who treats it lightly, breaking it in open pride, shall be cut off from the people, for they reject what God established. The Sabbath stands forever, holy covenant through generations. For in 6 days God made heaven, earth and seas and all within. Then he rested on the Sabbath, blessing it and setting it apart. When God finished speaking there, he gave Moses stone-carved tablets, written by God's very hand, covenant set firm and lasting. When the people saw the way Moses gone so long away, they gathered close around Aaron, make us gods to lead us on. As for Moses who brought us here, we don't know what happened there. Aaron answered, bring me gold. Earrings gathered from your homes. They removed the golden rings, brought them all before the priest. Aaron shaped the melted gold, formed a calf for them to hold. Then the people cried aloud, these are gods who brought us out. Israel, behold your king who delivered everything. Aaron built an altar there, declared a feast before the calf. People rose to eat and drink, then gave themselves to reckless things. God spoke sharply from the height, go down now, corruption spreads. The people quickly turned aside, breaking all I testified. They worship now a golden calf, sacrificing unto that their necks are stiff, rebellion strong. Let my wrath consume the wrong, from you alone I'll build anew a mighty nation formed through you. Moses pleaded before God, turn away this burning wrath. Why should Egypt say you free them only for catastrophe? Remember Abraham's covenant,
Isaac, Jacob promises. God relented from the doom, mercy moving through the room. Moses turned and carried down stone-cut tablets from the mount, written front and back by God, covenant engraved in stone. Joshua heard the people shout, sounds like war around the camp. Moses answered, not victory, not defeat, but singing noise. When he saw the calf and dancing, anger blazed beneath the mountain. He threw the tablets from his hand, shattering them across the land. Then he burned the golden calf, ground it down to powdered ash, scattered it upon the stream, made the people drink the thing. Moses turned to Aaron, and what did they do to you, my friend? How'd you lead them into sin? So much darkness entered in. Aaron answered, weak with fear. You know how these people are. They demanded gods appear, so I cast the golden fire, and somehow this calf came here. Moses saw the camp exposed, chaos breaking every wall. He stood beside the entrance gate. Who stands with the Lord today? Levi's sons gathered near, ready now to volunteer. Moses gave a heavy word, take the sword for God's cause. Move throughout the camp today, strike rebellion where it stays. Thousands fell beneath the blade, judgment through the camp display. The next day Moses climbed once more, perhaps I can restore this wrong. These people sinned exceedingly, making gods from molten things, but not forgive them if you will. If not, erase me from your book. God replied, the guilty bear their own sin before me there. Still now lead the people on toward the place I promised long. My angel shall go before, yet judgment waits for this revolt. Then plague struck the camp below, because they shaved the calf from gold. Yeah. God spoke to Moses after wrath, lead the people on their path. Go toward the land I swore to Abraham and those before. Milk and honey fill the ground, yet I will not walk among them now. Your hearts remain rebellious still, and my presence might destroy you. When the people heard these words, sorrow spread throughout the camp. No one wore their ornaments, mourning what their sin had been. God had said to strip them down, removing pride before him now. Ha, 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 ha. Moses took the tent outside, far beyond the camp's divide. Anyone who sought the Lord went outside to seek him more. Whenever Moses walked that way, all the people rose and stayed, standing at their tents they watched till he entered through the cloth. Then the pillar cloud descended at the entrance, God attended. The people worshiped from afar, seeing glory near the tent. God spoke unto Moses there, face to face in friendship rare. Joshua remained nearby, guarding through the days and nights. Moses said before the Lord, you tell me lead this people forward, yet you haven't clearly shown who will truly guide us on. You have said you know my name, and that I have found your grace. If that favor still is true, show me now your ways to move. Teach me how to walk with you, so I may continue true. Remember to this nation here, these are still your people dear. God replied with calming voice, my presence shall go with you, and I will give your soul rest too. Moses answered standing firm, if your presence doesn't go, do not send us from this place. How will anyone truly know that your favor rests below? Your presence makes us different, separated from the nations. God replied, this thing you ask I will do, because you found favor standing in my sight, and I know you by your name. Then Moses asked with reverence, show me now your glory fully. God answered from the cloud, I will make my goodness pass. I proclaim my holy name, showing mercy as I choose, but my face cannot be seen. No one sees and still survives. There's a place beside the rock, stand there while my glory passes. I will cover you by hand, hidden safely in the cleft, and I'll let you see behind me, but my face remains unseen. Yeah. God told Moses, cut once more, 2 stone tablets like before. The first one shattered in your rage, now new covenant words engraved. Come at morning up the mount, stand before me there alone. No one else may climb beside, no flocks grazing near the height. Moses carved the tablets, then rose at dawn and climbed again. God descended in the cloud, proclaiming holy truth aloud. The Lord, compassionate, slow to anger, reaching grace, overflowing faithfulness, showing mercy through the ages. forgiving sin and wickedness. Yet justice still remains in place. Consequences echo through generations tied to truth. Moses quickly bowed his face, worship rising in the blaze. If I found your favor still, walk among your people here, though stubbornness remains in us. Forgive and claim us as your own. God replied, I make covenant now, marvels unlike any known. Nations all around will see what I'll do through all of thee. Do not join yourself in bonds with the nations of the land. Tear their altars, break their stones. Do not bow to foreign gods, for I alone am jealous. God, your worship must remain with me. Do not make molten gods again or follow false fertility. Keep the feast of unleavened bread. Remember freedom from the dead. Every firstborn belongs to me. Redeem your sons accordingly. 6 days labor with your hands, 7th day release and rest. Keep the harvest feast in season. Bring first fruits before my presence. 3 times yearly all your men shall appear before the Lord. No one will invade your land while you follow my commands. Do not mix the blood and yeast, nor leave Passover till morning. Bring first fruits from your fertile ground. Honor God in what comes first. Moses stayed upon the mount 40 days and 40 nights. No bread eaten, water touched, only God sustaining much. There the covenant was written, 10 commandments carved in stone. When Moses came back down the mount, he did not know his face now shine, because he'd spoken with the Lord. Radiance flowed from him outward. Aaron and the people feared, stepping back from drawing near. Moses called them close again, spoke the words God gave to them. Afterward he veiled his face, covering the shining grace. But whenever Moses entered to speak before the Lord again, he removed the veil once more, till returning to the people.
Yeah. Moses gathered Israel near, speaking all God's words to hear. 6 days labor with your hands, 7th day belongs to God. Holy Sabbath, sacred rest, do no work upon that day. Do not kindle fires then, honor God through ceasing strain. Then Moses spoke another word. This is what the Lord requires. Bring an offering willingly, from every heart moved freely. Gold and silver, bronze and thread, blue and purple, woven red, fine linen, skins, acacia wood, oil and spice for sacred use, onyx stones and jewels bright, for the priestly garments light. Let the skilled among you come, build the things God has shown. Tabernacle, tent and frame, ark and mercy seat the same. Table, lampstand, altar, fire, holy garments God requires. Then all Israel left the place, thinking on the call of grace. Everyone whose heart was stirred brought their offerings to the Lord. Men and women freely came, jewelry offered without shame. Gold and silver, woven thread, everything God's work required. Leaders brought the precious stones, oil and spices from their homes. The people gave so willingly, worship flowing generously. Then Moses spoke before them all. God has chosen those he called. Bezalel from Judah's line, filled with wisdom by divine design, understanding, skill, and art craftsmanship placed in his heart. Oh, Holiab stands with him, gifted also from within. God has filled their minds with knowledge, teaching every kind of work, engraving, weaving, carving wood. Every sacred craft made good. The people brought more gifts each day, overflowing what was raised. So much thing the worker said, there's more than enough ahead. Moses gave command throughout, bring no more offerings now. The people stopped because the work already had abundant worth.
Blessed no holy at work, filled with wisdom from the Lord. Every skilled and willing heart joined together in the work. Moses gave the offerings, brought everything the people sought. Still each morning more arrived, generosity flowing wide. The craftsman finally came and said, the people bring far more than needed. There is more than enough supply for every task God designed. So Moses gave command throughout, bring no more offerings now. The people stopped from bringing gifts because abundance filled the work. The skilled men crafted curtain cloth, fine linen woven carefully. Blue and purple scarlet thread, cherubim within the threads. 10 great curtains joined as one measure, just as God had shown. Goat hair curtains layered above, coverings forming sacred walls. Glass of gold and bronze aligned, holding all the sections tight. Ramskins dyed in red replaced another covering, sealed the space. Acacia boards formed upright frames, silver sockets held them raised. Bars ran through the structure's sides, strengthening the dwelling lines. Then the inner veil was made, blue and scarlet finely shaved. Cherubim woven through the cloth, separating holy parts. The ark stood hidden past the veil, most holy place behind the space. The entrance curtain then was formed, woven brightly for the door. Bezalel crafted now the ark, acacia wood and gold throughout. Mercy seat with cherubim, wings spread wide above the lid. Then the sacred table came, covered fully overlaid. Dishes, bowls and tools refined, golden vessels all designed. The lampstand hammered from pure gold, branches beautiful to behold. Blossoms, cups and lamps aligned, lighting sacred space inside. Then the incense altar rose, gold refined on every post. Holy oil and incense blended just as God himself instructed.
Bezalel crafted now the ark, acacia wood by sacred mark. 2.5 cubits long, gold within and gold beyond. 4 gold rings upon the sides, poles prepare for journeys wide. The mercy seat of pure gold shine, cherubim spread wings aligned, facing inward toward the place, shadowing mercy's secret space. Then he built the table strong, acacia wood and gold upon its dishes. Bowls and vessels made, pure gold fashioned and displayed. The bread of presence set in place before the Lord continually. Then the lampstand hammered bright, pure gold shining through the night. Branches stretching from the stem, almond blossoms worked in them. Cups and flowers carefully formed, sacred beauty fully born. 7 lamps positioned high, lighting up the holy side. His trays and tools all forged from gold, talents worth beyond all told. Then the altar incense rose, covered all in shining gold. Horns connected as one piece, rings imposed beneath the frame. He prepared the holy oil, fragrant incense blended pure, crafted carefully with skill, following the Lord's revealed will.
Yeah. Yeah. Bezalel built the altar, brought acacia wood by God's command. 5 cubits long and wide, the same bronze overlay upon the frame. 4 horns rose from every side, one whole piece completely tied. His pans and forks and basins made, fire pans crafted all from bronze. A bronze grate set beneath the rim, rings attached around the frame. Poles prepared for carrying acacia wood with bronze overlaying. Then the basin came to form, bronze from mirrors women bore, placed between the tent and place where priests approach before God's face. The courtyard also now was raised, linen curtains stretched in place. South and north 100 long, pillars standing firm and strong. West side shore to east the gate, colored woven entrance made. Blue and purple scarlet thread, fine linen hanging overhead. Bronze and silver joined throughout, sacred structure built complete. Then the totals all were counted, offerings measured and accounted. Silver gathered from the census, every man who passed among them. Gold was used for holy things, bronze for tools and courtyard frames. Everything the people brought was used exactly as God taught. The tabernacle now stood form, built according to the word. Israel watched the dwelling rise, sacred space before their eyes. From blue and purple scarlet thread, holy garments now are made. Clothing crafted for the priests, just as God told Moses clearly. The ephod woven gold throughout, fine linen worked with careful hands. Showed a stone set into place. names of tribes engraved in them. Israel carried on the priest, remembered before God always. Then the breast piece, judgment piece, woven square with beauty deep, rows of jewels shining bright, 12 stones catching sacred light, each engraved with tribal names, one for every house the same. Chains of gold connected strong, fastened where they should belong. The robe beneath was woven blue, pomegranates around it too, golden bells upon the hem sounding when the priest walked in. Tunics, turbans, linen, sashes, everything through skilled craftsmanship. Then the holy crown was formed, pure gold plate before the Lord. Holy to the Lord, engraved, fastened on the turban, placed. All the work now stood complete, finished exactly as decreed. Israel brought the pieces all before Moses for approval. Ten ark and mercy seat, table, lampstand, everything. Altars, basin, woven walls, priestly garments, sacred claws. Moses carefully inspected every piece the people crafted. They had done as God commanded, nothing altered, nothing missing. Then Moses blessed the people there for obedience and faithful care. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. God spoke to Moses saying, on the first day raise the dwelling, set the tabernacle up, place the ark behind the veil, bring the table to its place, set the lampstand with its flame, place the golden altar near, burn sweet incense before me there, set the screen before the gate, raise the courtyard into place, put the basin there between, fill it full for washing clean, then anoint the holy things, consecrate them unto me. Ark and altar, lamp and tent, everything made sacred then. Bring Aaron and his sons nearby, wash and clothe them for their lives, anoint them for the priestly role, a lasting service through their blood. Moses did as God declared, following each word with care. On the first month's opening day, the tabernacle stood in place. Sockets, boards, and bars aligned, curtains stretched by God's design. The covenant stones placed inside, ark beneath the mercy side. Fell hung deep before the place, hiding glory wrapped in grace. Table set with sacred bread, lampstand burning light instead. Golden altar, incense rose, fragrant worship upward flowed. Bronze altar stood before the gate, sacrifices offered there. The basin filled with cleansing water, priests washed hands and feet before him. Courtyard curtains stretched around, holy boundaries marked the ground. Moses finished all the work, everything complete in order. Then the cloud descended down, covering the sacred house. Glory filled the tabernacle, brilliant presence overwhelming. Moses could not enter in, cloud and glory filled the tent. Whenever cloud would rise above Israel, journey through the dust. If the cloud remained in place, then the camp would stop and wait. Cloud by day before their eyes, fire by night across the skies. Oh, Israel watched the glory move, journeying beneath God's truth.